Sean, can you tell us how you're feeling?
Extremely happy. Extremely happy. It's ecstatic. Words can't really explain how I feel. It's been a long, hard road, but we're finally here. Thanks to the good work of the lawyer, my legal team, Rosemary and Ellis.
Where's Ellis? Ellis, where are you?
But thankfully, I just want to publicly thank you and you, Ellis, Rosemary and Ellis, for your hard work and everything that you've done to prove my innocence, despite what anybody says. We know the truth, and I'm thankful.
You heard the DA last night not fully exonerating you in any way. What do you feel about that? Judge Carol Ball exonerated me in her overturning of my conviction as far as I'm concerned. The state's highest court upheld that exoneration as far as I'm concerned. And if there's any question about my exoneration, we would be heading to a fourth trial. We wouldn't be standing here having this conversation.
Exactly. So the position that we're taking is that the district attorney's office held that press conference yesterday to get out ahead of what we think Rachel Rollins would have done when she took over on this case. We think Rachel Rollins would not have praised the district attorney's office for their work on this case. Rachel Rollins would not have praised the Boston Police Department for their work on this case. And by issuing this press release yesterday, 3 weeks before Rachel Rollins takes office, they were able to get their version of the story out there. And their version of the story conflicts absolutely with what Judge Ball found and what the SJC found. 7 judges of the SJC found that the district attorney's office withheld evidence. 7 judges of the SJC found, along with Judge Ball, that they withheld tip lines from us, that the information from the corrupt offices included Mulligan. In fact, what the SJC said is that the inclusion of Mulligan in the same scheme that Detective Sarah Robinson and Brazel were involved in was a game changer.
Yes.
And so the fact that the DA's office stood up yesterday and said it didn't happen, the DA's office did their job, the Boston Police Department did their job, that's a fiction. That's exactly what they said yesterday. They fed you guys a fiction. If you go read the decision of the SJC, it's crystal clear. Mulligan was involved with the Sarah Robinson and Brazel, and the tip lines exonerate Sean.
All politically motivated?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
What are you going to do when you get home? I mean, Mom's here. Mom, what are you going to do today? It's symbolic today.
I did the most I could do, and that was just jump up in his arms and hug him and be thankful that he's free. It's been a long haul, but I've been there for him and with him, and I'm glad that he's free.
Sean, this happened 25 years ago. You spent 22 years in jail because of this. Did you dream about this moment? Is it everything you expected?
It's everything I expected and more. I'm fortunate that I'm able to be able to like see my mom. I at one point had a fear that she would pass away while I was in prison, and I don't have to have that fear anymore.
That's right.
What do you mean by politically motivated?
What do I mean?
Yeah.
I mean that they
What
got
does
to
that
tell
mean?
their version of the story.
But politics
without,
in what way? Politically
What do you mean
how?
in what way?
What?
In this
I'm
case,
asking.
Rachel
Explain.
Rollins, we believe, would have investigated this case and came to different conclusions about the conduct of the district attorney's office and the conduct of the Boston Police Department. That's what I mean. And they got out ahead of it by issuing this press release yesterday. Nothing about their press release that was issued yesterday needed to happen yesterday. The information about the witnesses, they've known for months. The information about the cops, they've known for years. They did it yesterday to be able to put the spin on this issue the way they wanted to. So they could go out saying, we did nothing wrong, the Boston Police Department did nothing wrong, and we're going to exonerate him because it's taken 25 years and witnesses' memories have faded. It's not a matter of their memories fading. It's that they lied, and they know they can't prove it at a second trial. This is a cop killing. If they thought for 1 second that Sean was responsible, they would have gone forward with the trial. They know they can't prove it, not because he did it and he's getting away with it. They know they can't prove it because he didn't do it. And they know that their corrupt police officers that spearheaded this investigation steered it in the direction of Sean Ellis 25 years ago, and now they can't fix it. They can't find anyone out there who's willing to say Sean did it.
Why would they want to steer it in his direction?
Because they wanted to take the pressure off of themselves. They were doing dirty search warrants. They were fake search warrants. They were issuing fake search warrants with everyone. Can I finish?
Yeah.
They were doing fake search warrants with everybody. They were going into drug dealers' houses, and they were stealing drugs and money, putting the money in their pocket and putting the drugs back out on the street. They were petrified that if anyone really investigated what happened with Detective Mulligan, their own criminal conduct would have been discovered, including the criminal conduct of Detective Mulligan. So they stood there yesterday and they told you there's no reason to believe Mulligan knew what was going on. The reality is they have police reports in their own possession that Mulligan was involved in at least one drug ripoff that we can prove. There was a witness who testified before the federal grand jury who indicated that Mulligan sat in a car and held him at gunpoint while Sarah and Robinson went to rob him. If that isn't involvement in fake search warrants and phony search warrants and criminal activity, I don't know what is. There's a separate report where Mulligan makes the statement, "I found the cash." What do you think that means? Of course they know what that means. It means Mulligan was involved. They know it, the SJC knew it, Judge Ball knew it, and that's why Sean got a new trial.
Rosemary, you were here last week, you said this came as a shock to you. Last week, where did you stand?
Last week, we were here, on Thursday of last week, we had the comptroller's office in here from the Boston Police Department, from the state of Massachusetts. We also had the City of Boston Treasury Department in here because we learned after the trial that Rosa Sanchez, who was one of the identifying witnesses, who was the niece of Kenny Acera, who said she saw Sean crouching by the car, she was paid $12,000 for her testimony. Her boyfriend was paid $12,000 for his testimony. Victor Brown, who said he saw the car, was paid $9,000 for his testimony. None of that, not one single payment was made known to any of the attorneys who were trying any of the three cases in this instance. We were looking for the money. What the district attorney's office said is we have no trail of the money. We paid these witnesses, we're required under law to keep track of those payments, but we don't have a single shred of paper in our files that suggests that they got paid or any indication of when they got paid and how they got paid. So for the last year, I have been chasing the money. I have been trying to find anyone and everyone who could tell us where this money went and how it was generated. The order of Judge Roach last Thursday required them to turn over all of the payment records from the Boston Police Department and all of the payment records from the City of Boston to anybody on our witness list that we gave them a list of probably 25, 30 people. They were required to turn those records over to us by January 14th, and then they dismissed the case.
3 days later, you get the call.
I don't get the call. No. I got a call from a reporter saying that they were going to do something in Sean's case. I spent the entire day yesterday together with Jaleese and Sean trying to figure out what they were doing in the case because they didn't have the decency to call me up and tell me what's going on in the case.
In their press conference, they did say they've had conversations with you. Is that not true?
That's a bold-faced lie. Not only did they not have conversations with me, but at 10 minutes of 9 yesterday morning, when I got word from a reporter that there was something going on in Sean Ellis's case, I called Ed Zabin, who was the DA in this case. I flat out asked him, Ed, are you doing something on Ellis today? And he told me, there's something in the works. I can't talk to you now. There's a lot of moving parts. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Never, ever did he call me back. Literally 5 phone calls later, texts to the district attorney, Pappas, emails to him, calls to the office, went completely, literally unreturned at all. We didn't find out that there was even going to be a press conference until they announced it to the world. And even then, they weren't calling us back. So 20 minutes before they went into that press conference, they finally called my office and said, hey, we're null processing the case. And when I said, why now? Because that's a legitimate question, he said, I don't have the details. All I know is they're null processing it. That's all I know. And clearly he had the details because he was at the press conference.
So
Sean, can I ask you, given what your attorney has just said, with all of the history of these officers that were corrupt, how do you walk through the city of Boston after that?
With my head up.
Amen.
Walk with his head up, but be very careful. That's what you have to do in this city.
All right, we need to go to the 7th floor so we can get this GPS off.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, just let me grab my stuff, all right?
Big thing here. I was coming home with you.
Yes. Now go give him back that bracelet. Let's give him back that bracelet.
You know where they